Guys, it's the Gruffinator. Today we just got a package from, you can probably guess, Cedar Point. Now, I've got some really cool stuff to show you, and to start, since it's the 60th anniversary for the Cedar Point and Lake Erie Railroad, there's a new shirt, and there's a couple other things. There's a model that's going to be sold at the park. I'm going to be getting that. And this is the 60th anniversary t-shirt, which I'm happy to have. I'm going to be wearing that to the park. I'm going to throw that up there. Now, the cool part, though, about this is what's down here. I just got to find my... I'll just use this. I've seen some pictures of this, and I've got an idea on what it is. Give me a quick second. I'm just gonna cut. Hey guys, this was wrapped up a lot better than I thought it was. And also, I apologize for this clip and the last clip if I sound unamused or something. I'm doing these in one-take shots because I can't... Once I have this completely done, I can't redo these scenes. And also, this set right here, I'm also going to be trying to time-lapse it in one shot. So, this is the Cedar Point and Lake Erie Railroad wooden George R model. I got one hand I'm trying to do this with, so it's not easier. I'm going to set my camera down for a second. Here it is. Now, I'm going to have to put this together in a time lapse. I'm going to try to time lapse it. Now I just got to figure out how to... Oh! Here's a photo of... It comes with a photo of George. That's a neat postcard. Here's another one. Ooh, and it comes with a railroad spike from the railroad. And then over here, I think I might have one of these. Up here's my Cedar Point collection of my stuff from Cedar Point, which I don't really show often. I'll show you guys in another video at some point. But here's the one that I've gotten previously. Here's the one that comes with the George model. Yeah, it's the same badge, so I might have to wear that one day at Cedar Point. And now that I have two, I don't know. Alright, well, let's get back to the model. Back to the model. I just realized something about this. This is not actually a postcard. This one has information about the engine on the back, which they did the same exact thing for the 22 birthday pin. So that's really cool. And the railroad spike, I will get this unbagged, and I will show you guys what it looks like in a few. Alright guys, I got the railroad spike out of the bag, and first thing to note, it's got a bit of rust on it, and it's a little bit dirty, as you can tell from my hands, which, before I put the model together, I'm going to have to clean my hands off, but you'd be sitting... This has a smell to it that... If you'd be sitting by the railroad at Cedar Point, you'd notice it. It's a really... I'm not saying that it smells bad. It's actually a really good smell to the railroad spikes. If you like the smell of coal, it smells like coal. That's all I'm saying. Which, this will probably be displayed next to my coal from the engines. So, yeah. It's really cool to have a railroad spike from the CP&LE. Oh yeah, I should mention it now. These are limited edition. There were only, I think, 250 produced, so order yours now before they're gone. Alright. I'm gonna put the stuff, the railroad spike, the postcard, and the information card on my dresser, and I'll go ahead and time-lapse the set for you guys. Alright guys, while the time lapse is going, I figured I'd read the back of the information card for you that came with the railroad spike. So, George R is number 4 at Cedar Point, built by the H.K. Porter Company in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The year built was 1942, making George one of the youngest locomotives on the Cedar Point and Lake Erie Railroad. He was originally an 040T, and the original use was limestone mining. The original owner was the Carbon Limestone Company of Hillsville, PA. And the history of George was he was sold to Arthur LaSalle American Railroad Equipment Association in 1962. In 1963, George was leased to the Cherokee Wonderland in Cherokee, North Carolina. In 1968, he was sold to Cedar Point and rebuilt as a 240. And in 1981, the engine was renamed from Victoria RI to George R, after George Roos, former president of Cedar Point and the builder of the Cedar Point Railroad. I was about to say that. Guys, I just finished the model, and honestly, it looks really good. Like, looking at the photos, my one complaint was that the pilot sat too high, but the model looks really good, regardless of that. Although the proportions, I'll be honest, I don't think they fit George. I think they fit one of the Vulcans, like Myron or Judy. Or Jenny, even, but, you know. It's still, building experience was still fun. Some small parts broke. I had to glue them because they broke in a way. Like the domes up here were, one of those broke and I couldn't glue it back down, so I had to get some hot glue and I just went through it and did the gluing. When I was trying to put the thing on inside the cab, one of the gauges broke. Oh yeah, and not to mention, they put cab detail in this model, which looks really good. The model does have some things that are wobbly. The tender was, I'm gonna be honest, the tender was a nightmare to build when I was, like, it's funny, the tender should be the easiest thing to build because it's square and it's wood, but you have to do the bogies underneath, you have to keep the bogies on, and you also got to keep the thing together while you're putting those together. And yeah, I see this is coming off, so I'll have to push that back down. But trying to keep the bogies on without breaking these, and trying to push this on top as well, it's an absolute nightmare. But the locomotive looks amazing. For building experience, I'm going to say, I probably already said it, but I'm going to say 7, just because of the parts breaking and some things being a little bit too hard to put together. And for the detail, I'm going to say 9 out of 10. For the, oh yeah, well, I guess for everything else that came with it, 10 out of 10. This model, overall rating, I'm going to say 9 out of 10. Because it's overall a really nice model. There was a lot of care put into it. And, yeah. I also heard from a friend that these are no longer available on the website, so chances are they just sold out. Yeah, but, I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video of me putting it together. And, oh yeah, one more complaint. The rod should be all the way back here, but I understand why they didn't do that. But either way, it looks fine. All right, well, hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good day. Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, one more thing. I almost forgot to give a special thanks to Coaster Cutouts for making this model, and I'm hoping in the future they make more, as I can rearrange my collection at some point. Alright, that's all.